You got yourself a new microscope in the lab, and
Dude,
you gave me a moment of two players who this was in top 16, I believe.
yes.
The match between the person we were talking about just earlier, JB, and Kakeru, the perfect parry master. Do you want to break down this moment for us real quick? We have a little moment here.
Sure. Well, to me, Kakeru seemed like
Sorry.
he's he's in that potentially one of the best player in the world category with such a powerful character, and it's not as if he's just autopiloting JP. He not only does he have the strength of JP, he knows how to like iron out the situations, minimize his risk reward, and really punish his opponent in the best way that JP can.
Mhm.
JP as a character is so good at working the drive gauge. And the tail of the tape is oftentimes how both players manage their drive gauge at high level. So in this clip, Kakeru is working JB's drive gauge in neutral, on offense, and then he gets him to the corner about to burn him out. And one drive impact at a crucial moment just put the whole match into JB's favor. And that's what we're going to see in this clip.
Here it is. So we'll play it once and then we'll rewind and take it slow. Here it is.
That's an interesting punish on the perfect parry of the Rashid special. I didn't know he could do that. It's really good. Portal's up top. He has to wait for it to extinguish. You see these pokes every time Kakeru attacks JB, it's working his drive gauge. If you look at Kakeru's drive gauge, he's spending a lot. JB's not spending his drive gauge at all. But Kakeru is ahead. That's because of that drive gauge regen. As you see, he's about to get burnt out. The drive impact hits at a very crucial moment. JB has to make this work. If he didn't make that play, he would have been in burnout and JP would not have been. That is a massive, massive jump. Both players are in burnout, so you're not going to see a guaranteed DI until JB gets his meter back, which he will first. Gets it back. He immediately does a medium punch into the drive impact, which would have only lost to the super. But yeah, there it is.
Okay.
One
So
drive impact into a side switch.
I think you told me that it seems like he was going for something else other than the drive impact, right? Nice.
Yeah, I suspect it's not impossible. It might even be probable that JP meant to do drive reversal instead. Especially when you see that heavy kick from JP, one of the strategies that JB was using is drive reversal against the heavy kick. And because he's about to get burnt out anyways, it's better to get burnt out on your own terms rather than your opponent just takes full advantage of your burnout, especially when you're in the corner. So it wouldn't have been a bad drive reversal. And the crucial thing here is if JB did get in burnout, and if he didn't make that correct decision after he does a drive impact, Kakeru has level 2. He nearly has level 2 after all this happens. So JB's going to be in burnout, and he has to deal with JP's level 2, and he has very low health. So his chances of survival drastic go down. So there's a drive impact.
All right, I'm playing it too slow. Here we go.
There's a drive impact that does about a bar, a little bit more to Kakeru's gauge. He goes for the side switch. And if it weren't for that throw, JB would have been in so much trouble because of that level 2 from Kakeru.
Yeah, and I think earlier in the weekend, people were talking about that level 2, right? Because Daigo got hit by one of the mix-ups during a level 2 that he wasn't able to get out of because it's a perfect, or it's not perfect, it's a true block string.
Jailed. All right.
Interesting.
It's funny enough, it's not actually it's not a block string outside the corner because one of the orbs doesn't hit you soon enough. But since you're in the corner, you're locked into place. There's nobody being pushed backwards or forward. There's no space behind you. So actually everything locks you in. So that is one thing I hope that players, if they don't nerf it, maybe they probably should in some ways. You have to look at, and Broski mentioned this on Twitter, you have to look at the actual orbs and just block low and block the orbs as late as possible. Because the sequence is like low, high. The timing is so different. It's better to pay attention to what's happening. Like that the guaranteed thing that's gonna happen is better to pay attention to.
Damn, I just hold parry and then get thrown. So
You can't. And the worst part is, since you're blocking, it's going to just eat up your drive gauge, and
Mhm.
he's still going to have an advantage, and he's building his drive gauge back. So all those things combined, it's just really such a powerful level 2.
Yeah, no, and uh, I think what makes this even scarier, and that you mentioned it, is if it wasn't for that side switch and that accidental, allegedly, uh,
Possibly.
uh, drive impact, like he was gonna eat a shit ton of chip. So that would
Yeah.
have been scary. That would have been scary regardless. So
It
that's
was a
a
little bit overzealous from Kakeru, but in his defense, he almost had the burnout. He was just a few ticks away from burning JB out just by doing the sequence alone, which is crazy.
yeah.
That using EX moves and then being able to, on hit, get your meter back after the combo lands is just such a crazy property. So on block it's good, on hit it's good. It almost feels like you're out of options. And the whole time he was playing against Kakeru, I was just thinking to myself, how do you actually get to JP? What do you reasonably do to advance forward? And you could jump, you could drive rush, but at the end of the day, you gotta kind of take a massive risk. And all that time is passing. He's building drive gauge, and you're not. And
Mhm.
then he has ways to abuse your drive gauge. So it really was like a miracle and a half that JB got out of it and made that big play right after the drive impact.
Damn. Wow. That's a very good point. I saw this clip play like about 8 times when I was recording it. Had no idea. So I'm super happy that you pointed it out, because that, like, you can see like how, like, I think this is like a kind of what I mentioned to you when I asked you to bring something in like this. It's like this is like the moment that the round
Hmm.
ended before the round ended. Uh, and
Right.
I didn't see it as clear as that before, but now you can see that like that's
Hmm.
definitely like the one thing that Kakeru did wrong, and the big thing that, yeah.
Sorry, I had to give myself some pats.
Oh no, wait, turn your
Oh
back.
no!
Oh, you good? Did you die?
I dropped my external sound card.
Oh no.
Am I still? I can hear me. Good.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Here you go. I'll give you a
Oh,
pat on the back.